There comes a time in life when we realize that some things can't be expressed in words alone. Maybe you felt it, that deep, wordless stirring inside you, a story that needs to be told, a feeling that needs to be released, or a memory that wants to be honored. After 60, we carry so much within us. Wisdom, joy, sorrow, love, and creative expression can be one of the most powerful ways to let it all breathe. You don't have to be an artist to benefit from creativity. In fact, that's not what this is about at all. This is about giving yourself permission to explore, to play, to heal, and to discover new parts of yourself, or perhaps reconnect with old ones. So today, let's talk about 5 creative outlets that can help you express yourself and heal in ways you might not expect. First, let's talk about writing, not for an audience, but for yourself. You might be thinking, I'm not a writer, and that's perfectly okay. This isn't about crafting perfect sentences or publishing a memoir, unless you want to. It's about letting your thoughts and feelings flow onto paper without judgment. Try this. Keep a journal where you write just a few lines each day. It could be about a memory that surfaced, something that made you smile, or even a frustration you need to release. You might be surprised at how much lighter you feel after putting it down on paper. And if words feel intimidating, try writing a letter to your younger self, or to someone you've lost. You don't even have to send it. Sometimes, the act of writing it is the healing part. Now, let's explore collage and mixed media art. If the idea of drawing or painting feels daunting, collage is a wonderful way to ease into visual expression. All you need are old magazines, photographs, scissors, and glue. There's no right or wrong, just cut out images, words, or colors that speak to you and arrange them on a page. This can be especially powerful for processing emotions or memories. Maybe you create a collage of places you've loved, or one that represents how you're feeling right now. The beauty of collage is that it doesn't require technical skill, just intuition. And as you work, you might find that your hands know exactly what your heart wants to say. Finally, for today, let's consider the art of storytelling out loud. There's something magical about speaking your stories into existence. Maybe it's reminiscing with family over dinner, recording voice memos for your grandchildren, or even joining a local storytelling group. When we tell our stories, we don't just share memories, we make sense of them. We honor our past, laugh at our younger selves, and sometimes, we even find closure. You don't need to be a performer. Just start small. Tell a friend about something funny that happened to you years ago. Describe the town you grew up in as if you're painting a picture with words. Notice how it feels to give your experiences a voice. Now, these are just the first few ways to begin. But already, I hope you're sensing that creativity isn't about talent, it's about giving yourself space to be seen, even if it's just by you. And the best part? There's no deadline, no grade, no critic. Just the quiet, powerful act of expression. In the next part, we'll explore 2 more creative outlets that might surprise you with how deeply they can touch your heart. Because healing doesn't always happen in a therapist's office, sometimes it happens with a paintbrush in your hand, or a story on your lips, or glue on your fingers from a collage that somehow, without you even realizing it, helped you piece something back together inside. So tell me, have you ever tried any of these? Or is there one that's calling to you? I'd love to hear in the comments. And if you're ready, let's keep going, because there's so much more joy, and yes, healing, to uncover. You know, there's a quiet revolution that happens when we pick up a creative practice later in life. Without the pressure of making it perfect or turning it into a career, we're free to discover something remarkable, that creativity isn't about the product we make, but about how the process changes us. Today, let's explore 2 more unexpected creative outlets that can become powerful tools for expression and healing. First, let's talk about the healing rhythm of music making. Now, before you say, I'm not musical, let me ask you this, have you ever tapped your foot to a favorite song? Hummed along with the radio? That's all the musicality you need to begin. You don't need to learn complex chords or read sheet music. Simple percussion instruments like a drum, tambourine, or even 2 wooden spoons can become your voice. Here's why this matters. Rhythm connects directly to our emotions in a way words sometimes can't. Try this. Put on a song you loved in your younger days and let yourself move however feels natural. Or if you're feeling adventurous, visit a music store and try a handpan or tongue drum. These instruments create beautiful sounds with no experience needed. There's profound release in letting music move through you, whether through playing, singing, or just swaying to the beat. Now, let's explore something completely different, the mindful art of flower arranging. This isn't about perfect bouquets or fancy techniques. It's about the meditative practice of working with nature's beauty. You can use store-bought flowers, cuttings from your garden, or even interesting branches and leaves you find on a walk. As you arrange them, notice the colors, the textures, the way the light plays through petals. There's something deeply healing about creating temporary beauty. It teaches us to appreciate the present moment. And when the arrangement fades, that's part of the lesson too. This practice can become a beautiful metaphor for our own lives, precious, fleeting, and worthy of celebration exactly as they are. What's remarkable about both these practices is how they bypass our thinking minds and speak directly to our souls. Music moves us when words fail. Flowers remind us of life cycles when we need perspective. And neither requires talent, just willingness to show up and let the process work its magic. In our final part, we'll explore one last creative outlet that might surprise you with its depth, and how to weave all these practices into a life that feels more expressive, more authentic, and yes, more healed. Because the truth is, creativity after 60 isn't about becoming an artist, it's about becoming more fully yourself. So tell me, does one of these speak to you? Have you ever tried making music or arranging flowers just for the joy of it? I'd love to hear your experiences in the comments below. And if you're finding this helpful, consider sharing it with someone who might need this gentle nudge to express themselves too. Because here's what I believe, inside every person who thinks they're not creative is a wellspring of untapped expression waiting to flow. All we need is the courage to begin. As we come to our final creative outlet, I want to share something important I've learned. The most healing creativity often happens in connection. Not necessarily with others, though that can be powerful, but in that sacred space where our inner world meets the outer world through our hands, our voices, our movements. The last creative outlet we'll explore is found object sculpture, but stay with me, because this is much simpler and more profound than it sounds. All around us are objects with stories, a smooth stone from a memorable walk, a button from a favorite old coat, a piece of driftwood, an interesting bottle. When we assemble these fragments into small arrangements or shadow boxes, we're not just making art, we're creating physical manifestations of our memories and emotions. Start by gathering a few meaningful objects, nothing fancy, just things that speak to you. Then arrange them in a way that feels right. You might be surprised at how this process helps you process experiences or honor people and moments from your past. The beauty is in the doing, not the result. Now, let's talk about weaving these creative practices into your life. Start small, 5 minutes of journaling, 10 minutes humming along to music, a quick arrangement of found objects on your windowsill. Brief moments of creativity count. Follow the joy, notice which practice makes you lose track of time or feel lighter afterward. That's your clue to explore it further. Let go of judgment, this isn't about good or bad. It's about true expression. Create sacred space, a corner with your journal, a small table for your art supplies. Having a dedicated space invites regular practice. Remember, creativity after 60 isn't about adding another shit to your life. It's about reclaiming the playful, expressive parts of yourself that may have been set aside during busy years of work and responsibility. As we close, I'll leave you with this: your creative expression matters, not because it needs to be seen by the world, but because it needs to be seen by you. In making, we remember who we are beneath all the roles we've played. In creating, we heal. So which of these 5 speaks to you most? Will you try one this week? I'd love to hear about your experiences in the comments. And if this resonated with you, consider sharing it, because the world needs more people embracing their creative selves at every age. Here's to your next creative chapter. May it surprise, heal, and delight you in ways you can't yet imagine. After all, it's never too late to begin.